She stole everything from me. So I grinned as I wrecked her world. My story begins 3 years ago, when I met Camila. I was 27. She was 25. We met at a bar after a long workday. One of those days where all you want is a cold beer and a little peace and quiet. To my surprise, I ended up sitting next to a woman with a loud laugh, intense eyes, and a kind of ease that lets her talk about anything. Honestly, I fell for her faster than I'd like to admit. She was fun, charismatic, incredibly confident, like she knew the world owed her something. I had just gotten out of a long, painful relationship that left me emotionally drained and with zero interest in starting over. So meeting someone like Camila felt like a stroke of luck, like life was giving me a second chance. It was like breathing for the first time after months underwater, after 6 intense months of dating, late-night conversations, entire weekends spent watching movies, cooking together, playing games, or just telling stories from our childhood. We decided to move in together. I worked as a systems engineer and had a stable income, a stressful job, but one that gave me financial peace. She, on the other hand, sold clothes online, or so she said. It wasn't unusual to see her with new shopping bags, supposedly wholesale purchases for resale, or locked in her laptop managing her shop. The lease was under my name. She didn't have enough credit history, but she insisted we'd split everything else 50-50. We shared expenses, built the place from scratch, chose furniture together, painted the walls by hand, and turned a simple apartment into something that felt like a home with history. I believed I was building something serious, something lasting, something that doesn't come around twice. I felt lucky. The first year was good. We had normal arguments, like any couple. Sometimes over the mess, other times over petty jealousy, or lack of time together. I worked a lot, came home late often, but always tried to make up for it with quality time, homemade dinners, spontaneous getaways, small gifts. She had a more flexible schedule, went out with friends, hosted gatherings, at home. Sometimes it annoyed me when she had people over while I needed rest, but I trusted her, or so I thought. Her smile disarmed any doubt, and the way she touched my shoulder when we argued made me forget why I was even upset. Things started to shift when she once asked to borrow my credit card for an urgent purchase because hers had an issue. I didn't think much of it. One card, one purchase, no big deal. I had a solid savings account, so I wasn't worried. What I didn't know was that this would be the beginning of something much darker, a crack that, over time, turned into a fracture and eventually shattered me inside. Trust, that invisible thread that binds people, started to fray without me noticing. Then the strange charges started showing up. Clothes that never arrived, subscriptions to websites I didn't recognize, duplicate charges for services we never used. When I asked, she told me everything was under control, that she was investing in her shop and the results would show soon. She even showed me fake customer messages and supposed orders. Like the fool in love I was, I believed her. I thought maybe I was just being paranoid, that work stress was messing with my head. I started feeling guilty, as if I were the problem, until one day I came home and found a receipt from a jewelry store on the nightstand. A necklace worth over $1,200. I hadn't bought it. When I confronted her, she said it was for a friend, a thank you gift for helping with her business. She smiled, caressed my face, and said everything was fine. I wanted to believe her, but something inside me snapped. It wasn't just the necklace. It was the certainty that something deeper was being hidden, that gut feeling that flares up, like an alarm when everything starts to stink. I started digging. I reviewed my card statements, logged into my online banking, and that's when I saw everything. For over 6 months, Camila had been draining my credit card, my savings account, even my investment fund. She'd taken over $30,000 behind my back. The expenses were cleverly scattered: fragmented payments, regular store purchases, digital services. But when I went through them one by one, I found plane tickets, hotel reservations, expensive dinners at upscale restaurants. None of these were small purchases. It was a double life of luxury and deceit, all funded by my work, my trust, and my naivete. But the worst part wasn't the money. The worst part was finding out she wasn't just stealing from me. She was cheating on me too. One night, I pretended to leave for work. I had seen too many red flags. Nervous glances when I entered the room, texts I was never allowed to see, sudden schedule changes. So I hid in the parking lot, phone in hand, recording. I didn't know if anything would happen, but I needed to confirm my suspicions once and for all. I didn't even wait 15 minutes before a guy showed up on a motorcycle. Camila opened the door with a complicit smile, kissed him on the lips, and let him in like it was his home. It wasn't a casual kiss. It was the kind that comes with routine. I recorded everything: the kiss, the greeting, the sweet words, her laugh as she led him inside. I let the camera run for a few more minutes. I heard them toast, heard her say I'd never suspect a thing, and even heard them talk about a trip they were planning together. It was all recorded. I said nothing. I stopped the recording, put my phone in my pocket, and walked out numb, cold, and completely shattered. That night, I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just sat there, replaying the kiss, and now the sound of betrayal, over and over in my head. I ignored her messages for 2 days. Told her I was away on business, and during that time, I plotted my revenge. One that wouldn't just leave her speechless, it would rip apart her web of lies from within. First, I gathered evidence: screenshots, bank statements, recordings, chat logs, everything, compiled like a legal dossier. Then I talked to a lawyer friend. Since we were in a common law partnership and everything was under my name, I had the upper hand. He advised me on how to proceed to avoid any potential legal trouble down the road. We discussed possible scenarios, and he gave me a piece of advice I'll never forget: you're ahead, but if you act in anger, you might give her exactly what she needs to flip things on you. Do everything with a clear head. Leave no loose ends. I returned home as if nothing had happened. Greeted her, brought her flowers, even. She apologized for using the card so much and said she would pay me back. I looked her straight in the eyes and told her not to worry, that everything was fine, that there was nothing to stress about, and that I had it all under control. She smiled, unaware she was one step away from collapse. And I, deep down, was just waiting for her to inch closer to the edge so her fall would be inevitable, and I wouldn't even have to push. A week later, when she left for a supposed business meeting, I called a moving company. I took everything that was mine: TV, computer, bed, dining set, even the lamps I'd bought. I left the apartment empty. All that remained was her clothes, her vanity mirror, and a note: I know everything. Don't contact me again. I've documented every move you've made, every transaction, every lie. The financial authorities already have records of your bank activity and your misuse of my funds. I know about the transfers, the purchases, the trips, everything. Good luck explaining where you got $30,000, and better luck trying to rebuild your life after this. I blocked her number, blocked her social media. But I didn't stop there. I knew she had built an Instagram shop with fake followers and fabricated collaborations. I posed as an angry customer and began leaving comments about a fake order that never arrived. A friend did the same from another account. Within 2 weeks, her online reputation collapsed. People started asking if it was a scam. Her page was reported so many times that eventually it got suspended. No one wants to buy from someone who looks like a fraud. I never saw her again. But according to people from our old neighborhood, she had to move in with a cousin in another city. Apparently, word spread quickly there too. Several people recognized her from the stories that had circulated. They say no one wanted anything to do with her once the truth came out, and even though she tried to relaunch her online store, it eventually sank. The guy she cheated with vanished just as fast as he appeared. People ask if I miss her. No, not one bit. Her absence is a silent relief, like pulling out a thorn that had been lodged deep for far too long. Was it too much? Maybe, but I learned something. Revenge ain't always shouting or fighting. Sometimes, it's acting with surgical precision without losing control. I didn't walk away quietly, you know that. I made sure every lie she built crumbled piece by piece.